All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 11th showcase for the 2022 summer internship. I'm June Bea, CEO of Bea Group, and we at Bea Group have been running these summer internships for the past 7 years. So we've been very fortunate to have collaborative partners at 3 different school districts. The first being Downey Unified. We've worked with them for the past 7 years, and Glendale Unified and Davis. So we have interns who are in high school working with us, getting paid to do a 6-week summer internship. So the summer internship consists of them working with us at Bea Group for the first week. They are given email addresses. We do onboarding. They sign hiring documents. We have workshops about leadership and about communication mastery. We have weekly social justice in the workplace sessions. And then during the second week to this last week, they have been working with deep dive leads, and they are industry professionals who mentor and create a project for each intern to complete. And so this showcase is the culmination of their project. And this one is super special in that our colleague at Bea Group, Barbarella Focus, has a production company, Salt and Sugar Productions. And so she has been leading this deep dive. This is actually her third time doing it. And so I'm going to have Barb join me in welcoming all of you to this very exciting documentary filmmaking showcase. Woohoo! Hi, Barb. So let us know what you
Hi.
have been and what you affectionately call them.
I will. Thank you so much, June. As June said, hi, everybody. I'm Barbarella Focus, co-owner of Salt and Sugar Productions. We specialize in documentary films about artists. And this, as June said, this is my third year as a deep dive lead, and working with these creative, talented young people is the highlight of my year. And it just makes for a great summer. I do call them my docklings because this is documentary film and I'm the mama doc, and I also like puns. A lot of these interns had very little to no filming or editing experience before this deep dive. What you're about to see is their one-person productions. They came up with their own concepts. They wrote or narrated and conducted interviews, filmed and edited each of these films themselves. So feel free to comment throughout and ask questions in chat if you're on YouTube, and we'll do Q&A at the end. As you'll see, they worked really hard and their films are as unique and wonderful as they are. I want to thank June and our district partners for making this possible. And I also want to give a shout out to my co-designers, Jasmine and Cassandra, who are past docklings of mine. And now let's begin. I'll give a little introduction of each one. They're going to introduce their film. We'll play it, and then the next. So we're starting with David. I want to say about David, he is kind, friendly, and ready for anything. And with this film, you'll see where he gets it from. So heads up, this song is going to be stuck in your head for the rest of the day. So David, go ahead.
All right, hello everybody. I'm David Torres. I'm an incoming senior at Downey High School. So the video I present to you today is about my father. He's a karate instructor, and I had a really fun time making this video. I learned so much just about him and filming in general. I want to thank Barb too. With her criticism and all my other teammates, this video wouldn't have been as great as it is now, thanks to them. So I'll let the video speak for itself. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Thanks, David. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Dave Torres, and I'm the owner and head instructor of my school, David Torres Kempo Karate Studio. One day I saw my neighbor leaving to his car, and he had his uniform. I told him, where are you going with your pajamas? And at that time I didn't know anything about karate. And he says, I'm going to karate school. Do you want to join me? So I saw the first class, and they were beating the heck out of each other and fell in love with it. And I started, that was on a Monday. I started that following Wednesday, and I've been at it ever since. I've been in karate now for 58 years. In those 58 years, I've been a black belt for 53. And I opened up my school back in 1976. About 18,000 kids have come to my doors. And when I say about kids, that's from kids about 4 years old all the way to older people. And every day is a blessing. Yeah. to be able to not only teach, but be physically able to do different things. I give all my faith to the Lord because my title, I'm a 10th degree black belt, but a lot of the kids wanted to call me master, and because of my title, I just like to be called sir, because there's only one master. I used to compete in the 60s, and this was before I opened up my school, and I just loved it. I love the contact, I love the, I love the sportsmanship, I love as far as what it took to get ready for competition, as far as the discipline, the attitude, you know, the desire and stuff. I competed all over the United States, and I was pretty good at that time. Once I opened up my school, all my attention went to the kids, my students. I have a fun type of teaching. I still maintain the standards as far as being respectful, being disciplined and stuff, but you can't be to the point where it's so hardcore that the child doesn't want to do it or is scared of you. So I tell the kids, if you need to talk to someone, your parents are the most important. But if you want somebody else to talk to, you can always talk to me or ma'am. Ma'am is my wife. And whatever you tell us stays here unless you want us to share. And a lot of kids have come up with a lot of different things. And I really appreciate their honesty and their trust in us, which is really nice. There's a balance there for not only as far as they could be the best martial artists in the world, but they don't have as far as the humbleness, as far as that calm spirit. They just it's wasted talent. The martial arts, as far as has so many aspects of it. First of all, it's an art, and there's so much beauty, so much finesse, so much power, so many things that are entailed to be a martial artist. But throughout the years, as far as you come up in rank, you learn techniques, you learn forms, you learn all these different things. As an instructor, it's nice to see an individual come in not knowing anything, maybe being meek, maybe being shy, maybe being as far as not wanting to talk, and seeing that spirit inside him grow and have them as far as mature and being able to talk to people. The desire to teach, the love of teaching, the love of the art more than anything else. You have to have it in here, not only as far as physically, but spiritually and mentally, because you want to be able to give the good that you've learned from martial arts to your kids.
Yay. All right. Great job. So we're going to move right along and come back to you. So Paris did extensive research, so much that she was wondering about citations, which you don't really need for documentary films, but it's important to trust your resources. She was the first one done with her film, and I loved hanging out with her as we were both early birds to every meeting. So Paris, go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. So my name is Paris Sejin. I am an incoming senior at Davis Senior High School. And throughout this internship, talking with Barb and my fellow interns, I've just had the best experience learning about the filming world, but also gaining that work-life experience and just being more confident in myself. So with all that knowledge, I was able to create a short documentary film about the history of a local landmark, and I hope you enjoy it.
Stevenson Bridge, or as it's known by the locals, Graffiti Bridge. You can imagine why. Built in 1923, this bridge crosses over Poudre Creek River and has served as a way to connect the Yolo and Solano counties. Its concrete arches are one of the reasons the Stevenson Bridge is so unique. It's estimated that only 2% of bridges in California have this rainbow tied arch design. A rainbow arch bridge is where the arch is above the roadway, and tied bridges are where large beams are tied or connected to each ends of the arch. But this is not the main reason the bridge has gained so much attention from neighboring towns. It's because of the graffiti. It's speculated that the first person to add graffiti to the bridge and start the tradition was a Dixon High School student who painted his name on the bridge in gold letters for his graduation in 1963. But we can never know for sure how or why the graffiti started, which adds yet another layer of mystery and uniqueness to the Stevenson Bridge. What we do know is that the Stevenson Bridge today is covered in colorful graffiti and attracts cyclists, drivers who slow down to admire the art, and rebellious teens who want to add their mark to the graffiti bridge. The history of this bridge and the creativity of its community members have been woven together and will continue to be appreciated by future passerbyers, intrigued by this one-of-a-kind structure.
Woohoo. Great job. Okay, it's so much fun. They're all so different. You're going to see that, and you learn all different things about people and places. Okay, next up is Juan. Juan had everything planned out from the get-go, all right? And still he kept going back to capture more footage and more interviews to make his film even better than it was. I love when he'd stick around after our meetings and helped contribute ideas and solutions to fellow interns. So Juan.
Thank you for the nice intro, Barb. My name is Juan Benecourt Jr. I'm attending Warren High School as a senior in the fall this year. And I decided to make my documentary about my coach, my tennis coach, Joe. And as Barb stated, I kind of had lots of ideas at the start that I kept going back and rethinking. And eventually I settled on this one because I thought it gave the most unique story and a great presentation to everyone. And Barb was really helpful, as each time I went back, she was there to help me plan out and decide what I had to film, what different aspects, and even unique shots I could get. And so I want to thank Barb for that. And I'm really hopeful that you guys will enjoy the film. So thank you very much.
I'm Joe Della Rosa. I'm 58 years old. I'm an electrical contractor, and I play competitive tennis. '76. Local park. There was an instructor there, and I just walked on. And the instructor noticed a couple of natural abilities. I just kept playing. I still maintain focus, the attitude, competitive spirit. It's just something that's inside, and one was to have is one to know what it feels like. It's an incredible feeling. To be able to come out and compete at 58 years old with youngsters, my students are 18, 17 years old, and I can compete with them. That's not a compliment, but it's a really good feeling to have, knowing that I can still come out here and compete. Kind of a place. I certainly belong out here. I feel like I belong out here. Confident out here. I love it out here. There's times when there's no place I'd rather be than out here. post-match interview.
Yeah.
So it was a great match. A man got me. The glory of youth wins out again. But
First time I've heard that in a while. Right?
but we're good.
So it is the day training here at Face Academy. We try our best to become champions because that's what we are. Everyone's a winner, but it takes hard work to be a champion. That's what we do at Face Academy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And all your donations to me.
Woo. All right. Great work. And I hope when I go to share, if I don't talk before sharing, I hope it still shows that your faces on YouTube when it's showing. That's why I'm not. Okay, if it doesn't, then that's fine. All right, Angel. Angel is next up, and I know that you're in a car, Angel, but I'm going to introduce you and then let us know if you can talk, all right? Angel is a master multitasker, as evidenced by the fact that he's on the road right now. He worked with me outside of meeting times while he was away at camp and managed to research, write, and film before he went and edited while he was there. So, Angel, can you introduce your film?
Hello, my name is Angel Romero, and I'm from Warren High School. And basically what I learned from this internship was multitasking and being able to do work in tight schedules. During the summer, I had a tight schedule. So basically I had to get things done quickly. And in this film, it's basically the history of my hometown of Downey, California. And I hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you, Angel. All right, here we go.
Found in the gateway cities of Southern California, there is a city stretched between busy highways and concrete riverbeds known as Downey. It all started in 1879 with John Gately Downey, the 7th governor of California, who claimed the land for farming and agriculture, which would later attract families who settled in the area to make a life for themselves. The first roads and paths were in the northern part of Downey, like Gallatin Road and Firestone Avenue. Citrus farms would be the lifeline of this town during its founding era. Even till this day, orange trees could be spotted around the streets of Downey. Later, schools like Gallatin and Alameda would be the first in Downey to offer education to its growing population in the small orchard town. In the 1950s, Downey will go into a transformation from a small orchard town into a suburban haven for young couples to start new families. Many of the city's first high schools like Downey and Earl Warren High would renovate their new campuses with new campus buildings, and the remaining of its schools like from Los Nietos Valleys to Downey Union High. Downey has also been home to old-style restaurants, such as having the oldest McDonald's and Big Boy's Boilers restaurant, which is a 50s-style restaurant. But apart when it comes to the country's future sights towards the stars, Downey would find its aerospace programs to serve as a place of the creation of space shuttles and engines. All of these would be important for the Apollo space mission, leaving Downey as an important reminder of the country's space legacy. For a city that looks towards the future, we also like to remember its past, its legacy, and its progress, with historical landmarks being a common sight around the city. Downey is a city that's always changing and will always look towards the future, with new bonds and new families being made here, as well as new memories being made in this 12 square mile land we call Downey.
Woohoo! All right. Aren't these so good so far? Learning so much. All right, Camila. Camila also juggled a lot, which is shown in her piece. She juggled 2 internships this summer. In addition to conducting interviews and scripting and narrating her piece, she also added an animation element to her film that adds to the overall impact. So Camila, go ahead, introduce.
Hi, I'm Camila Guzman. I'm going to be an incoming senior at Downey High School. And honestly, through this internship, I've learned a newfound appreciation for video editing and those who do it for a living, because it is a strenuous and time-consuming task. But at the end of the day, it's also like learning just that nice satisfaction of when you've made something big and you finished a project that you're proud of. So yeah, without further ado, this is my documentary about academic burnout. While there are many forms of burnout, I feel as though academic burnout is something that requires more attention. No matter the difficulty of classes being taken, the accumulated pressure of having to uphold standards, giving your all to just see it go to waste, and being exhausted from all of these factors can leave you running on fumes. What if the fumes run out? At my age, I've spent about 76% of my life in school. It was about time I felt the effects. A's for me have always been the coveted and golden standard that I needed to achieve year after year. It became expected. I expected it. Once I learned it was achievable, I forced it on myself as early as age 6 and did so happily. Anything less than this golden standard would be disgraceful. It would mean I didn't try hard enough, that I wasn't good enough or did enough. High school hit me like a burning truck. I'd handled hard classes before. Why wouldn't 3 honors classes, an AP class, and a sport be any different in high school? Sophomore year was the year of the pandemic, of isolation, of alarming event after alarming event, and of poor mental health while the world kept moving. As the windows of my house turned orange with the California fires raging, I kept working, but I started questioning why I chased this golden standard. My GPA, universities, I would tell myself, don't let yourself fall short. In the end, apathy and exhaustion took hold as I held that year's golden standard in a burnt hand.
I don't sleep at night. I do it like when I get home, it's usually around like maybe 4 or 5, and I sleep until like 8. And then I do homework, or it's due on Canvas at midnight. And I continue working on it, and then I fall asleep at like 4, wake up at 5. Like that's the sleep schedule that I have.
I definitely don't get enough time for sleep either. I'm sleeping at around 1 to 12 is like a good day.
It came time for finals at the end of first semester. I was so tired that I kind of gave up in a couple of classes, and Christmas break, I kind of got sick. I actually ended up getting physically sick because your immune system is so tired. To see yourself fall, it really just means it's like, am I giving up? Am I being lazy? Am I not trying hard enough? And then you end up going into like this mental cycle of like, I can't do it. I'm not worthy enough. And so then that's a whole issue in and of itself, because you're trying so hard in your classes, and now you also need to deal with the mental struggle of like, do I belong here?
At my school, there's a ranking system, which a lot of people can put a value into their number or something like that. And that can just create like another amount of anxiety on top of everything they're already dealing with. Like having to focus on what number they are out of how many students, how good that can look like for college and stuff like that.
You have these teachers that are like, don't let me down. They're like, my status as a teacher is on the line if I don't end up getting students who have good AP scores. And that to me puts pressure, because it's like, I came in here for myself to learn, to prepare myself for college. I didn't come in here trying to help maintain the reputation of a teacher.
Some teachers do give too much homework and expect it in like an unfair amount of time. Because when considering that we have 6 or 5 periods that are all like academic, that like the workload from each piles up to essentially a stack of homework a day, really. And like in a week, it can be like so much.
So this is with 4 AP classes, a bunch of clubs, and then on top of it, the 0 period. I did it with the purpose of trying to look good for colleges, but ultimately I think that it ruined my mental health for a long time.
For my parents, say like thank you for pushing me, but then at the same time, like stop pushing me so much, having to live up to an expectation from your parents, having to live up to an expectation from teachers, classmates, peers. From within myself, I think that pressure comes from my own personal expectations of what I can do, what I know, what I should be able to do. I've literally become a part of the rat race.
Great job. So cool to see animation with it. All right. Let me make sure, right? Yeah. Good. Read the comments too as you guys are going through. Okay. So next up, Phoenix. Phoenix learned the most important lesson about documentary filmmaking, and that is sometimes the story won't take you where you think. So you need to be willing to follow it. So when the first interview subjects fell through, he quickly switched topics to follow another thread and did it well. So Phoenix.
Hi, my name's Phoenix. I'm an incoming senior at Da Vinci Charter Academy. And I think like my big takeaway was like getting to dive into this family history that I wasn't entirely aware of and of someone who I can never meet. So that was really cool. So like enjoy this documentary about my great grandpa.
All right, here we go.
My grandfather, his name was Lou Watson. So he grew up in the Great Depression, and so he really had very little money, and his family had to just make use of whatever they could find. But he was really smart, and he ended up going to UC Berkeley and getting a master's degree in engineering. So that kind of set him on the trajectory of building houses with recycled materials. But he did end up enjoying boating and sailing. So he kind of got interested in boats just personally. And at first he was building houses, and he built them himself, a lot of them out of recycled materials. And then he met up with a friend, and the friend was building houseboats. And they were talking one day, and my grandfather had an idea about how to build the houseboats using a different technology. And so he suggested it to his friend, and his friend was like, why don't we partner and like make this new kind of houseboat together? So he and his business partner just used their own money. It was something that they were really passionate about. And so they, just would make one in the beginning at a time, sell it and make a little profit, and then use much of that money to make more. And at one time, a magazine featured them, and they started getting a lot of orders. And so they were kind of making quite a bit of money, but then a big storm came, and their mold for pouring the concrete that was really big got ruined. And so then they had to start over. But he never made like a lot of money doing this. It was in the end something that he loved to do, but that wasn't like a big money maker. He made dozens of boats. I don't know if it was maybe hundreds, but they were sold to people who would take them all over the world. So he ended up selling some of the houseboats to people who didn't really know where to put them. And so they just kept the boats there at the Port of West Sacramento. And so pretty soon there were like 2 and then 3, 4 houseboats that he had built just sitting there, and people would live in them because they didn't have a lot of money to travel with them or pay for gas to or pay for a boat slip anywhere. So it ended up with you know, a number of people, just mostly men, living on these boats, and they would kind of be friends, but they were squatting legally. And so it was like a cheap housing option for them. And for a long time, the city just let them do that, and then eventually kind of ran them out and said they weren't allowed to live there anymore. So he actually just sort of built this manufacturing space at the port of West Sacramento, and he just squatted there without getting any permission. He decided to just do it. And for many years, they just let him do it. He built this like big thing that was a mold that he would use to pour concrete and put iron rods, metal rods in the concrete, and made the boats out of concrete and metal rods. And then after dozens and dozens of years, the city of West Sacramento and the port of West Sacramento said he wasn't allowed to be there. They kind of like all of a sudden discovered him there. And then for years they tried to kick him out, and he wouldn't leave. So it was like a big battle for many years. And he just kind of was a little bit like of a pirate in some ways.
Woohoo. All right, great job, Phoenix. I love these stories of the past as well. Okay, moving along. And again, remember, everybody, save, you know, keep posting in chat on YouTube and in here. They will see it. And then we're going to do questions at the end. So next up is Desiree. Desiree has a good eye for cool shots, but most of all is great at taking feedback and working with people to get what she needs. Her shots are so immersive. You feel like you're right there on the track with the team that you'll learn more about. So go ahead, Desiree, introduce.
Hi, my name is Desiree Gonzalez. I'm an incoming senior at Warren High School. And one thing I learned from this internship, aside from like work ethic and juggling my schedule, is just how like universal my experiences in the sport I do, with not just the girls I run with, but with the coach as well. And just seeing what I do through other people's lenses really kind of gave me a new perspective.
Cool. Great insights. Here we go.
So really with my background with running, I've always loved running. It's something that a lot of people cannot relate to, but it's a really a mental game and a physical game when it comes to being strong. And I really like that aspect of it. So I thought, why not be able to coach young girls who can just do the same and push them further beyond the limits that I wish I could pass.
Do you believe it's hard to push past those limits?
Oh yes, definitely. Because I definitely feel that especially when you're running on the track, it's definitely hard to stay focused, to stay motivated. Sometimes you could have people passing you up, or sometimes you could be leading the race and you're not too sure how to manage that type of pressure. So at times it could be challenging, but with the good coaching staff, your peers, you remind yourself why you started, that you're a lot stronger than what you think. And if you can just be self-motivating and keep pushing through, you can definitely pass those limits. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a bumpy road, but anyone can do it as long as you believe in yourself.
What do you believe the biggest misconception about running is?
Ooh, it's a good one. That it's boring. That it's boring, and that it's not a true physical sport. You talk to any runner, and it is probably one of the hardest sports to ever do, just because of the aspect of the long runs, right? At practices, sometimes we can go out to like 10 to 12 miles, and that's simply just for training.
Do you feel that it's worth it?
Oh, definitely. It definitely is. I think it definitely teaches you self-discipline. It teaches you the way you self-care for yourself. So whether you're doing stretches, whether you're drinking water, you're eating the right foods, running definitely tests that ability of yours. But to keep kids motivated and to make sure that, so whether I can get them a side boat on a Saturday after a Saturday run, or just listening, I think that's probably one of the most valuable things that anyone can do for someone is just to listen. So I definitely try to do a lot of the things that I wish someone would have done for me when I was younger. And I hope eventually that it builds someone's confidence and that it allows someone to listen, and hopefully, and if I can just touch one life and it can change their whole world, like I feel I did my job.
I've actually enjoyed doing it, and like this team is like helped me become more social because I was like really shy, and now I have like a lot of friends here in this team. Yeah, I think it just feels good after when you complete like tons of miles. I think it's very enjoyable. I mean, I like coming here and seeing the team, and it's just like a sense of belonging. So it's nice.
Woo. I didn't end it too early. Okay. Great job. Right? It feels like you're there. It feels like, I need a Twinkie after watching all that running. Okay. So yeah, way to go. All right. Next up, Maggie. Maggie was another intern who was juggling many things, including a whole other job that she got pulled into. And oh, Maggie, you're going to want to put on your face too. I can see you, but not all of you. Great. But you managed to make the time to ensure that she got beautiful shots as well as a sweet interview with her mother. And some of these shots are so gorgeous. So go ahead, Maggie, introduce.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm an incoming senior at Downey High School. And one thing I learned about this internship is taking videos. Like, I never really thought it would be so satisfying to enjoy like recording videos of little things at my own house. So yeah, here's a good video to represent what I've done in these past 6 weeks.
Okay, great. Here we go.
What do you like about gardening?
I like the gardening because I like to see the grass green, cut the plant, and I like to see the house clean.
When did you start doing gardening?
I started doing gardening when I buy the house, like 14 years ago. The person who told me how to use the equipment is my dad. My dad worked the maintain city garden. My dad's service on the city work on the city is for 25 years. Oh, well, they retired, but I say years ago. My motivation to me because it's relaxing to watering the grass. The first things, the first things I had to explain how to use the equipment and what the equipment is better for. For example, cut the roses, I use garden scissors. And in the garden is basil, cilantro, parsley, tomatoes, and mint. My favorite plant in the garden is lemon tree.
Why do you like the lemon tree?
Because it's the lemon tree is a citric fruit, and I like to do lemonade. In conclusion, is that people have to love nature, and then have to love to do gardening.
Mhm. Great job. Great job. I love the little cat paws. I love the little close up of the babes. Okay, great job, Maggie. Next up, Eric. Eric was my and is my most experienced duckling. He's actually a professional videographer and editor, and has done this commercially. After dealing with an audio issue that made him need to scrap an entire interview, he still created a beautiful film here, using the know-how and kind of pivoting for it. So Eric, why don't you introduce it for us?
Hi, my name's Eric. I'm a freelance videographer at Warren High. I've been doing this for a couple years now. The main thing I learned from this internship was improving my communication before, during, and after production. I learned to take ideas so I can fuel the project with it. And even though things went sideways with this project, I still learned how to work with it. And my project's about a golf player and his ups and downs of the sport and how he has gotten to where he is now. I hope you enjoy it.
It's great. And I love your setup. His ups and downs and your ups and downs. And it came out great. Here we go.
My name is Aaron Saldana. I played golf for Warren High School in Downey, California. Throughout my years of playing golf, I have gone through a lot of ups and downs, both in my performance within the sport itself and with my peers, including teammates, opponents, and general friends. Golf is a hobby that it'll push your emotional strength and endurance to its absolute limits. I've never really been the calmest of people. I can have a temper, mostly about something I truly care about. Every time I walk onto the golf course, I want to leave in a good mood. Unfortunately, for most people who enjoy the game, that's not the case. The golf ball, while it's such a tiny object, it's just so hard to control. Your ball does something completely different, and that is daunting. People say golf isn't really a sport and whatnot, but that all depends on what you think the definition of the word sport is. To me, a sport is a competitive, physical, or mental activity that requires some sort of practice, some skill to be honed in. I still personally feel like I need to work harder at times, and I want to get better. I've been constantly since my dad first taught me how to play when I was a little kid. And yet, golf also includes those lucky breaks. Today, I mostly play with my high school. After losing my freshman year to COVID and underperforming my sophomore year, being back in golf for my junior year was amazing. Hanging around with the guys after school every day, not only with my own school, but with the rival schools as well, and making connections is an experience like no other. I have had some tussles with teammates and whatnot, but that goes to show the difference in everybody's mindset about the game of golf. And it varies dramatically between golfer to golfer. And that's another thing that I really enjoy about the game. This coming school year will be my senior year, and I'm going to be in the running from my final time. I don't think I've ever worked harder at golf than I am now, but that's because I sincerely hope that I can truly go far in my final at bat.
Nice. I love that last shot so much that oh, sorry, June, I just saw your message. I love that last shot so much that I showed it to other people before this, that one with the golf club and then him coming in from out of focus. So just beautiful job. Okay, so do we have any guests right now, June, or you keep going? No. Okay. All right, next up, okay, Marley. Marley took her project on the road with her, approaching her subjects as many documentarians do, without knowing how things were going to unfold, what was going to happen next. A warning to any parents watching who may be dreading the day that their little birdies fly away, have tissues ready, because this is sweet, but go ahead, Marley.
Thank you. So I'm Marley Michael. I'm an incoming senior at Davis High School. Like Barb said, I sort of went into the internship not knowing what I wanted to make my film about, but I had a trip planned to look at colleges, and she just encouraged me to kind of film the whole thing and figure it out from there. I'm really glad that I did, because throughout the process, I kind of saw the value of reflecting on past experiences. And sort of by watching all the videos I took and thinking hard about the story, it helped me see like what really mattered to me about the trip. And I hope to kind of, apply that same reflectiveness in the future to my experiences. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks. Here we go.
The college tour. It's a sort of rite of passage, the unofficial beginning of a new chapter. When 17-year-olds who've barely learned to drive a car suddenly have their hands on the steering wheel of their future. For all the hard courses I've taken, all the hard questions I've been able to answer, now I face new, impossibly hard questions. Where do I want to go? What do I want to be in the future? Unlike schoolwork, these questions don't have right or wrong answers. My college tour took me to 8 of the world's most prestigious colleges. 7 days, 5 states, locked in a car with my doting parents and my crazy little brother who just got his own driver's permit. And no trip to the East Coast would be complete without a visit to my grandparents' house in Pennsylvania. But they ask the same hard questions about the college tour. Where do I want to go? What do I want to be? Maybe I want to go to a place where students can design their own major. Maybe a school with their mascot based on a circus elephant. Or a small liberal arts college with its campus on an arboretum. Or one with ivy-covered walls and a commitment to service. Maybe even a university in the heart of the city where the American Revolution began. For all the answers my college tour didn't give me, the journey itself told me a lot about what I truly value. Where do I really want to go? To a place not too far from a good meal with family. A place where people wrestle on the ground and play basketball with their cousins. A place where new drivers learn to share the road with others. Where you can bike through the city with your family. Where there's great food that might just make your little brother want to visit. Where your grandpa teaches you to play shuffleboard. A place where you make up secret handshakes at dinner. My college tour didn't really help me decide where I want to go or what I want to be. But it did help me understand the importance of being present in the moment. And it helped me see that regardless of where I end up, the people I love will always be the most important thing in my life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Very poetic. Oh, so Sophia also says poetic. Yes, I love that. Okay. Now, a full 180 on style. Next up is John. This next one demonstrates yet another style of documentary film, which unfolds like a mystery thriller. John has a YouTube channel called John the Blonde. So after this showcase and you're still hanging out on YouTube, feel free to go check it out and subscribe, right? So, John, why don't you introduce yourself and your
Hi, my name is John Gresbick. I'm an incoming senior at Downey High School, and something that I would say that made me like learn a lot throughout this internship is communication. And as a former YouTuber, like when it comes to communication and that, you just vision something in your head and you just want to upload a video. Like you don't really want to take advice and everything because there's so much stress. But I'd say definitely going on the Zoom like twice a week and everything and getting the communication and feedback really helped me. And I want to thank Barb for that and everyone that gave me feedback. And my film is about a place called the Abandoned Downey Asylum. I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just watch it for ourselves.
Great. Well said. Here we go.
Go.
The LA County Poor Farm, a refugee for the elderly, homeless, disabled, and mentally ill, opened in 1888. Over time, it was beyond successful and at one point housed thousands of patients. Before the 1950s, it was considered its own town before becoming a part of Downey. Later, the Poor Farm was then renamed Rancho Los Amigos, translated in English as Ranch of the Friends. It had a farm, its very own post office, a miniature zoo, and a craftsman mansion for the superintendent. After World War II, Rancho became a long-term care facility for the war victims and also managed victims from the polio epidemic, filling up many rooms with iron lungs in the 1950s. The discovery of the Salk polio vaccine in 1955 placed hundreds of the respirators away in storage. This was all before it fell into disrepair. Now, ironically known as the Hollydale Mental Hospital, it's dilapidated and definitely creepy. Me and a couple of my friends actually went to go visit the place ourselves. It was very creepy, and rumors go around saying that the place is haunted or people have done many rituals here of certain things that I would rather not discuss. But here are some clips I took when I went in. Okay, here's someone. There's someone watched. This is clear. Let's get out of here. It's clear, Jer? This is crazy, bro. Really search it. Read everything. We search this. And it says this. Then I hurry for real, please. Zombies. I don't think that's the best place to go, to be honest. We can look up here for a little bit, I guess.
Get the deal. That's the mystery. No, look, get this one. Look, there needs to be another this one. Look, Mary, 128, that's you're Abraham Lincoln was born or some shit. No, there's stairs to get up to the water. No. Whoa, bro, what is this? It's a Disneyland coin, bro. Imagine Dr. Gold. 50 or something. It's so heavy. It is. It is. It's probably. I don't want to take it, but is this how Disneyland coins are? No. Henry Ford built his car. Six. Right then. You hear that? Nobody's gonna come. 10 seconds later. No way. No way. No way.
Oops. Great. All right. All right. Fun. Who will ever know what was happening there? Only the filmmakers. Okay. Okay, great. Next up, thanks, John. Cindy. So Cindy did most of the filming for this on a trip to Mexico, I believe, in the beautiful natural world, which was a fit because they love nature, right? So these lovely shots combined with beautiful writing make for a sweet meditative film. And Cindy took the extra step to caption this piece, which I think is great for greater accessibility and following along. So Cindy, please.
Hello, my name is Cindy Arriaga, and from this internship, I'm really glad that I gained a lot of confidence in like my creative ideas and like just taking initiative. So I want to say special thank you to Barb and Baya Group for this. Also, special thank you to my sister Katia because she helped me narrate this film and she also gave me a lot of inspiration for this. So I hope you enjoy.
Awesome. Thank you. Here we go.
I can't remember a time where I didn't struggle with anxiety. When I am around others, I freeze, I panic, everything seems to blur. But being outside in nature has always stilled my mind. In nature, I feel grounded as if tethered to the earth. I have never felt insecure around the trees. In the nights, it can be the most intimidating to go out just from my fear of the unknown. But among all the hidden life, the stars shine brightly above. To just reflect and think outside, looking up at the stars was something special. I sat next to my cousins and we were sitting by the trees and plants in her garden, while counting each shooting star that passed us by. It was such an intimate moment that couldn't be recreated anywhere else. Everything seemed so clear. However, a storm is always yet to come. The light that comes with the storm never scared me like the loud sounds of thunder do. We saw a beautiful show of light in the sky. Everyone in the cabin was either recording the lightning or watching through the windows. It was far away. You didn't see the rain or hear the thunder that usually accompanies the light. It was simply a distant sign of a storm, a distant sign of nature. The beauty of nature helped me begin to learn loving all forms of life. I don't find myself being as fearful of other people. I see now that every living being has their own story. Nature helped me appreciate this complexity and interconnectedness of all life on Earth, by first showing me calm and beauty, and later more intense storms and winds. The feelings I felt when around plants helped me become more in tune with my own feelings, to help me discover more of who I am and who I want to be.
I love the music in all of these too. And that's great. Just another note for everybody, all the music you hear in all of these, everybody put in their own music and had to source stuff and make sure it was rights free or royalty free. So there's just so much work that went into each of these wonderful pieces. So great job. All right, next up, we're going through feeling good. Next up is Sophia. Sophia incorporated older footage, found footage, family footage with new interviews and did a great job of weaving it all together. She plans to take over the world, beginning with her family business, and I know she can do it. So Sophia, go ahead.
Thank you, Barb. Hi, my name is Sophia Martinez. I'm going to be an incoming senior at Downey High School. Throughout this internship, I learned the ins and outs of a business. I was able to bond with my tia and my grandma at the office, actually filming them and interviewing them about the business and see what my grandpa went through. And I learned actually a lot about what his thought process was and what he wanted this business to be in the future. But I think it was really cool to be able to see everything and hear everything with my family. And I'm excited for you guys to watch, and something for my family and I to go home or be here on home and bond and watch it together. But I hope you guys enjoyed just as much as I did. Thank you.
That's great. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Wait a minute, Dad. Wait. Okay. How does it feel for you? So, Mr. Martinez, the first day on your job? Let's see. You think everything will go well? That'd be. It's set up that way. That'd be that way. What time am I supposed to be on the job? 6:30. 6. 5 minutes early. Better early than late.
Used to be my husband, his business. He started his business and transportation. The first truck he had is the one there in the picture in the back. And his goal was to have all this 12 trucking he had. I think that his goal was that. He never said to have 100 trucking, because he said he wants to be retired when he was 50. Unfortunately, when he passed away, he had 50 years old. So, but he did what he wants to do for his business. Not just one, he had 12.
The challenges for EM Oil back when our father started was to getting the opportunity to train people. That would be key to being able to continue with the long hours of driving and being committed to what was expected for oil spray. But the one-on-one training that our father gave to each driver was not just like an employee, it was like a friend, and giving that attention was what made EM Oil have the personnel that enjoyed what they were doing and getting paid well. My favorite memory of EM Oil is when I started working for EM Oil. day-to-day interaction, you know, with your father slash boss was always the best. You know, I grew and wanted to learn to make him rely on me so I can be one of his key persons to not have to worry about driving, billing, all the extra that comes in the whole business. So that was one of the greatest memories I'll have and I'll cherish. And what I learned is that, you never give up on, no matter how tough it may be. You just go with what you learned from him, and that's one of the things I'll cherish. Also, having my mother be his personal, right hand person. It's like behind a good man, there's always a great woman, and that's what Enrique Martinez wanted. A family that was able to work together and play together. That's what you work for, to enjoy life.
Okay.
Woohoo. They're all so good. And I bet your family is super proud of that. They have these kind of on hand. They can use that as a commercial. They just put it on the website, right? Great. Okay, so Ani is up next. I believe we have somebody here from Glendale. So Ani is one of our Glendale interns, and Ani revealed she has many creative sides through this. By offering a peek into her world as a dancer, she demonstrated that someone who may be polite and soft-spoken can also command the attention of a giant audience. And now she can add filmmaker next to dancer on her resume. So Ani, go ahead and introduce.
Hi, my name is Ani Hajinian, and I'm an incoming senior at Clark Magnet High School. This internship has taught me the value of good communication and how I can better my work by applying feedback. And I also learned to organize and plan ahead of time to have my film turn out the way I would like it to. And I decided to do my film about dance, which I've been doing for about 13 years. And this is the behind the scenes of a dance I performed for my family.
Okay, fantastic. Let's see it.
Cha-cha is one of the 5 dance sport routines we have, and it is a quick, energetic, and fun way to dance. It originates from Cuba. Costumes in Latin dance are fun, unique, and they're made for you to stand out. Basic people start off with like the cubed heels, and then you work your way up to like the skinnier ones that are high. They don't really go up much higher than this one.
We choose a couple of different musics and we change it. This last one, we chose it like 2 days ago.
The music we choose has to match up with the specific cha-cha counts, and every Latin dance has specific counts. Cha-cha is a 2-3 cha-cha 1 count, or a 2-3 4 and 1 count, which is the same thing, just different wording.
I choreographed most of it. We changed, we put some stuff with Ani. It goes a lot of things, like it depends on the student, like what the students feel comfortable again with that. So you can every time to create a different cha-cha.
There are basic moves in a cha-cha, like a New York or a log step, which you'll see in any cha-cha, but a dip is less common that you do for show dances than a competition-like setting.
We had only week, maybe like a couple hours of privates. It's gonna be good show, but when you have more practice, then you go like, you know, you can perfect yourself more and you can do much better, of course.
To be honest, there wasn't much training that went into this dance. We started about a week before the event, and that was kind of like all we needed. It was a show dance, and I think we did good. So there wasn't that much technique that we have to look after, since we're just doing it to entertain and not in front of judges like a competition.
It's for my performance that she's gonna have fun. The first of all, she's going to enjoy it. She's gonna have fun. That's the most important thing, because if you're gonna dance and you're not gonna enjoy it, that's pointless. I'm waiting that everybody's gonna love the dance, and after I leave that place, she's gonna stay there longer, so everybody's gonna cheer and pull close to her, like congratulate her with her dance.
After the dance, everyone came up to me. It was a family event, so there were 80 people. About like 60 came up to congratulate me after. They all just really got excited because it's like, it's a dance. It's supposed to make you happy. So I'm glad I did that. And some people came to me more than once to tell me that they really enjoyed it, and I did really good.
Woohoo! Yes, June. So I believe we have somebody from
Yes.
an administrator, right? June, can you introduce?
Correct. Yes, hi. Yes, I just wanted to introduce Kristen. If you would like to say something, again, I mentioned in the last showcase that my alma mater is Glendale Unified, and so really excited to have. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, Kristen? Correct.
Yes.
Kristen, thank you so much for joining us, and we wanted to, just introduce you, and if you wanted to say some words about your interns. And
So I'm, thank you for having me today. This is wonderful. I'm incredibly impressed with the quality of all of these films, and I know the hard work that would be into them, because it's just so much between figuring out the content and figuring out how to edit and getting the shots and getting the music that is not copyrighted, and they just keep getting better and better as I'm watching them. And so I really appreciate this opportunity to be here and be able to see all of this hard work that's gone in over the past, you said 6 weeks taking the time during the summer to do this. I mean, that's a lot on your plate, giving up your summer to do something incredibly awesome, but also a lot of work. So congratulations, everybody. And Ani, yours was wonderful. Everybody's was wonderful, but of course, Ani, since you're in my school district, we have to give a special shout out. So again, keep up the great work, and I hope you all had a really wonderful experience and learned a lot in the process, and it seems that you all have.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Okay. And then there was like a brief intermission, and now we have the four left. So Carla Resendiz. Carla, I think she seemed surprised when I was immediately excited by this topic. I was like, yeah, I don't think better to feature her uncle's tattoo shop. I don't know if you're used to a lot of people in this position, and teachers and grown-ups being like, yeah, tattoos. But I think it is an age-old, time-honored art, and I think she did a great job showcasing it with all of these unique shots about her uncle's shop. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Carla?
Hi, my name is Carla Resendiz. I will be attending Downey High next year as a senior, and I chose to do my uncle's tattoo shop, because it's something that I want to go into, and it's something that I want to learn more about. And I feel like you don't really see too many documentaries focused on tattoos. So, yeah.
All right. And you did a great job. So here we go.
Why did I choose it? I like to draw. That was my thing, drawing. Since I was a kid, I used to draw a lot. That was my thing, drawing. I never thought about tattooing. It was drawing. When I was, I think, 22, when I got my first tattoo, that's when I realized. After that, that's when everything. It was lettering. Really bad lettering. Really bad. They didn't like it. My mom did support it. A lot of people didn't like it. They thought I wasn't gonna make no money. Tattoo wasn't a career. So it's not game related. It's art. You know, everybody still believes it's game related tattoo. I got tired of working for somebody else. I got tired of moving up. I got tired of everybody always pulling me down. It was a long journey. It was hard, especially having a family. It was really, really hard. I struggle a lot to open a shop. People don't know how much I struggle, but I struggle. And my family struggled with me. So it was really bad. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. Because all the little money that I have, I went into this business. So the money that I have, I give it to my family to eat. So half of the time, nobody knows that I cannot eat. And then I would work and then Uber. I did pretty much everything nonstop 24 hours. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they're at home. You know, every time you go to a tattoo shop, they feel intimidated. I don't want them to feel that. I want them to feel like they're comfortable, they can keep coming back, they can make complaints and chill and get at it. Not to fuck up. Hopefully, not to mess up, not to, hopefully they love it, for them to come back, you know, recommendation. That's one of the biggest things. So my science, I always try to make it funny. I always try to make people laugh. So when you're here, I want you to just wander on, your eyes wander everywhere. I do have funny this science, so I want people to laugh by the time they're waiting for their tattoo. Family. I have my wife on it, you know. A lot of people don't know, but I was in books, and she's the one that helped me get through. So a butterfly in the butt, like 2 wings and 1 body each. That was a big, that was something really good. That we care about our tattoos. You know, we care about what we do. We're not just about the money, but we love what we do.
Nice. I don't know if your uncle's seen that yet, but I know he would be proud and happy to have it. You should put that on their website too. Okay. Chris, down to 3. Chris showed what sort of magic can happen when you take images and video from something that you've already done, like a major trip to another country, and then you later turned it into a compelling short film and a memorable story by putting it all together. So Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Gutierrez and I'm going to be an upcoming senior at Downey High School this year. And what I liked about this internship was it was cool to try something new and something I had no experience in. And I want to thank Barb for helping me throughout the process of the film. And my film is about taking a trip to China for a soccer tournament.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Here you go.
In 2019, my soccer team was the only American team to take part in an international tournament in China. It was one of my greatest experiences. When we walked around the city, everyone was looking at us because we were a diverse team and we were taller than most people there. People would take pictures of us and it felt as if we were a professional team, like we were famous. We walked around the city to explore and we went to the market and had a variety of different foods I've never seen before. It showed how diverse America is when compared to China. When we arrived, we had an opening ceremony to introduce all the teams, and it felt really cool to be in the moment. Teams from around the world, and it was nice to interact with other countries. I had only been to Mexico before, so to go to China, it was a different experience and one I'll never forget. We had morning trainings in order to prepare for our games, and we played teams from around the world. Each game was tough, but we ended up going undefeated and winning the championship. It was one of the best feelings ever as the hard work paid off, and it was truly an amazing experience.
Woohoo! And congratulations on the win. It's always good to get different perspectives by traveling if you are able to. Okay, so Jonathan, now you saw Jonathan already, just as you saw Chris in John's his film, you saw Jonathan in Camila's. I want to say about Jonathan, he's one of those people who inadvertently makes me feel really dumb because he's so sharp and insightful and approaches each subject from multiple perspectives. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs for president one day, and I would definitely vote for him. So Jonathan, go ahead and introduce.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Barb. So hello, my name is Jonathan Young, and I'm an incoming senior at Warren High School. So I've never really been that into politics up until recently because I got selected to go to Boys State, which was this thing where one person from each school, or one male, they had Girl State the following week, they got to go represent their school and we got to like practice mock government. And so after that experience, it was kind of just like it was an escalade into this documentary because I knew that I was going to do the internship and I was like, what am I going to do it on? And so I think that I wanted to do mine about like political science and not only how we engage with politics, but also how we engage with each other, because I think politics is just an extension of the human interaction with one another. And so I also think that through this internship, I learned how to not only manage myself and manage like time, but also how to manage like other people, like schedule the interviews, film the interviews, edit the interviews, re-edit the interviews, get rid of 30 plus minutes of footage that isn't needed. And so it was a whole combination of things that I think really allowed me to engage with like other people, like interview with Camila, but also learn more about myself. And so it was a really good experience for me.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, are you ready for your film? Here we go.
So you want to do something? Make sure you register to vote. And you better pass it on to all of your friends. Yeah.
The modern 21st century reveals its political spectrum to be just as divided as its ancestors. Performative activism plagues the nation as select American citizens take advantage of socio-political issues to portray themselves in a certain light or skew their image towards acceptance under a political label. Government officials like Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser have recently been caught using the struggles of African Americans in the United States to increase her own social capital when she had the phrase Black Lives Matter painted across 16th Street near the White House, but was later found to have secretly endorsed law enforcement practices in the funding of a new jail near D.C. that actively criminalized the Black community. It is this flawed practice of superficial devotion to a cause that not only takes away from the actual issue at hand and making it somewhat of a trend, but simultaneously adds indirect pressure to voters in acting in alignment with their identified political party or social surrounding.
I feel like modern political activism is when people dealing with politics try to like campaign towards certain organizations or groups that are going on, like Black Lives Matter, but they only do it kind of like when it starts becoming popular and a trend only for their own personal interest or gain. So like when they're trying to run up for like president or something, they could say like, oh, like I can help end like climate change, but they really aren't interested in it. They're kind of just doing it so that you vote for them and so that they win over their other candidate.
I think sometimes some kids don't know what they're talking about and they put it out there just because they want to be part of the cool crowd. So I do feel like sometimes it's spread, but is it spread for the right reasons? I think it makes you think about it. There's too many opinions on both sides. So I really feel like it makes you, if you're interested, you need to do your homework and find out what it is you're really voting for.
It's true that with these social media devices, and particularly with the fact that misinformation is oftentimes sensationalist, is oftentimes the thing that will just reconfirm your political, your preconceived notions about other parties and your baseline assumptions. It means that misinformation spreads and disseminates way more quickly, and it can infiltrate popular social thought. And then by the time the truth gets out, it's too late.
It's in performative activism that pressure to abide under a certain political label persists. The need to post a black square to show support for a movement or wave an American flag to represent patriotism has for too long diluted our democracy. Rather than carry our politics on the weight of our character, media shifts focus to arbitrary forms of performative activism that may not even be accessible to the larger population.
The community that I service, they're worried more about where dinner's coming from. They don't have a stable home, stable family. How do I infuse, and again, it's the decisions that I have to face every day. How do I infuse caring about their future when their present is not stable? In the community that I serve, anywhere from 65 to 70% are single family. Anywhere from 85 to 90% are below the poverty line, which to say less than $27,000 a year for a family of 3 or 4. Do they really want to be engaged in something besides stability at home?
It is in performative activism we find the privilege in practicing politics. Where some may have the luxury in struggling to choose which photo on Instagram best represents their commitment to the protest, others just struggle to get by in getting a meal on the table. Performative activism solely takes the most extreme aspects of each party and works to amplify them to a certain degree, making them more inaccessible to its more moderate members. To be a Democrat is to post a black square and identify as a liberal, where a Republican is a gun-sporting citizen who is always pro-life. Performative activism reinforces these ends of the spectrum without acknowledging the middle, where policies may differ. A protest is more than the trend from which it gains traction. It is not enough to post a picture or address an audience, but more so we need to practice what we preach. To be political is a privilege most do not have, as actions speak louder than words. We need to look beneath the surface and engage in our democracy through healthy debate rather than conform to the will of social pressure. Practice respectful debate, not polarization and strict labels of what makes an American. It is in reliability and active voting we can truly progress in the United States. So instead of leading by likes, lead by example.
Whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
And you can see from all the titles just how many roles everybody is doing. All these people, I like that Jonathan actually like listed out all the different things that go in, because usually there's a whole crew doing that. And all of you did it yourselves, okay? Which is very, very impressive. Okay, so last but not least, Carla. You can tell from her shots, this is Carla Rexon. I hope I pronounced it correctly, that Carla has an artist's eye. And I knew that from the first time that she shared one of her shots with us. I was really surprised when she said she didn't have filmmaking experience, because the cinematography here is beautiful and matches the quality of her other chosen medium. So Carla, why don't you introduce this?
Hello, my name is Carla Roxanne. I'm an aspiring senior for Downey High School. And I don't really know how I'm gonna top anything just by like what Jonathan did. That was amazing.
It's different.
But still, yeah, I had so much fun doing all this, like all the film, and it was just great experience, which I'm really thankful for, like with the internship, because you guys gave me a different way to express myself and with the art and everything. So I'm really thankful. So thank you for that. And my film is about art and what it means to me.
I love it. All right, great. Here we go.
How would you define art?
I think that art is any form of expression of all the beauty that we see, that we feel inside of us, and we have to represent it in some way.
What is art? A well-written poem, a painting filled with colors, or a well-practiced melody? If I told you that there's no limit to what falls under it, would you agree with me? Art has received respect and appreciation through time. Whether it's because of its techniques, value, or meaning, art doesn't just refer to a painting or a verse. It contains all kinds of expressions and mindsets prolonging its being. It can be used as a mirror to reflect on yourself in it and admire who you are. It can be the cause of a decision, or you catch yourself looking at a painting while thinking with a certain feeling in your heart. Art has brought me a new way to explain what words are not able to say, share things that I did discover in the world, things that nobody else seems to see. Art is not made to sunder the good from the bad. It gives a chance that anything becomes more than it is, more than what we are. It's a puzzle with no exact pieces. But once you finish solving it, a beautiful image comes alive. I paint with the heart. I draw with someone in mind. My hands no longer belong to me, not while paper touches my palms. A canvas then converts itself into a diary, disposed of for the little feeling stuck in my breath. Art is such a relative thing that not even those who live with it know how to explain it. But who would even bother doing it when you can simply admire it and explore things you never knew were there?
Okay, wow. Yes. So, I mean, and that obviously is close to my heart as an artist documentarian. I'm constantly trying to answer the question, what is art and what is it to you and these people? So, so definitely speaks to me. Can we just please have a round of applause for every one of these documentary filmmakers? I don't know if you can remove the spotlight so we can see everybody. I don't know. Carmen, are you with us? Oh, there you are. Hey, round of applause, all of you. fantastic. Do it like this. Great job. Now I know, because we have a little bit of time left, June is going to have a couple of follow-up questions for you. But I just want to say I'm super, super proud, and it was an honor and a joy to work with each and every one of you. And we are going to stay connected. So June, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to say congratulations. Every time I think about 6 weeks, and really only 5 weeks in your deep dive. So I just want to have everybody watching just pause and consider that you were a one-person crew for all of it, and to really celebrate how much you accomplished, and then also to do the showcase on top of it, right? So we had you present live on YouTube as well as for your film. So again, congratulations. And thank you, Barb. We know how much time and effort for you mentoring all of the interns, and also our co-designers who supported the efforts. So thank you, everybody who was part of this. I have a question for the interns I'm curious, because you saw a job posting months ago and it said paid internship, and it said 6 weeks in the summer. And you would be having a choice. There were 16 different choices. You might have chosen documentary film, you might not have. I'm just curious, thinking back, if you could share what you thought it would be, and then how you feel right now that you've finished. You've shown your film, you have completed the showcase. Could I get someone to share? Go for it, David.
So going in, I kind of just saw the flyer on a wall because my teacher introduced it. And I was just thinking like, hey, why not? This could be a great experience for me. I could learn something new, or maybe find a new passion in something. And I was really happy to see documentary filmmaking, because I did VNS, which is Viking Nation Station, at my high school. And I was like, hey, maybe I can put my skills to use. So going in, it was really awesome. I just saw the positives and everything. I didn't really see any negatives whatsoever. And then going through this, it sure was stressful, filming and editing and everything else I had going with football and all kinds of other stuff. But in the end, I'm really proud to have put this video together, and, just all this work experience. I'm really appreciative of it.
Yes, and David actually came to the Downey board meeting and spoke. So thank you, David, for that as well. Let's see. I'm gonna start calling on folks. Is that okay? Because we've learned over time, sometimes it's difficult for you all to feel like, do I pause? Do I unmute? Do I mute? So could I call on Cindy? Thank you, Cindy.
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Oh yeah, the question was just reflection on, it was working from home. It's this internship, documentary film. I'm just curious on what are some thoughts you have now that you've finished on your journey?
Now that I finished, I really enjoyed working with so many creative people, and just seeing all the creative ideas and stories and messages. I also really appreciate Barb through everything, all the inspiration, motivation she gave us. I'm emotional. I really enjoyed everyone's documentaries, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. I loved working with you.
Let's see. Could I call on Eric? Would you be willing to share?
I kind of thought it was kind of what I expected, just trying to complete a project. As a filmmaker myself, I saw documentary filmmaking and I was like, yeah, I can learn a new type of filmmaking. And I think it was a really great experience trying to learn.
Did you learn anything about yourself in the process?
Better communication with people in the production, setting deadlines and trying to connect with people basically.
Yeah, thank you. Phoenix, could I put you on the spot?
Yeah, hi.
Are you going to ask a question? Yeah.
Sorry, just yeah. How was this internship for you?
It was good. I had a lot of fun. I came into it expecting to do something completely different, and then ended up with this, and I didn't think I was gonna like it because I've never been much of a documentary enjoyer personally. But I've certainly had my view changed, and I had a lot of fun. So
It's awesome. It's nice when you surprise yourself. Thank you. Let's see. How about Christian? Something you'd like to share about your experience in this work from home experience?
I really liked it. I like trying something new, and I had no experience in like filming or editing, so it was cool just to learn something new. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So
Awesome. How do you feel seeing your film?
I like how it turned out. So I already had an idea like before going into this, so to see how it turned out, it was good.
Let's see, Camila, how is it for you?
It was really enjoyable. It was very stressful because it was a lot of uploading a draft, realizing that something needed to be fixed, and then having to edit it and then upload it again. And well, I don't know, it was a lot of hard work, but honestly, I'm just really proud that I was able to get it done in time and create something that I was pretty proud of, because I've always kind of wanted to learn how to edit. So this was really cool to sort of learn the ins and outs and the basics of it. So I enjoyed myself.
Yes, and your topic, it was definitely very timely, and then the animation that you included into your film, that was extra.
And narration, writing narration, doing animation, doing interviews. I mean, a lot of elements that, again, any one of these would be a multi-person crew.
Exactly. And we do know you had a second internship in addition. So, and many of you were going to summer school, navigating travel as well as, so kudos to everyone for the time management that it required to really get this done. Anyone else want to share? Okay, I'm going to pick on Marley.
Marley has to leave in like 1 minute, so heads up.
It's okay. It's okay.
You good? Okay, go for it.
Yeah. No, just kind of like what everyone else was saying. It felt really good to like work toward this big project at the end. You know, like I feel like a lot of times with like school assignments and stuff, it's more just like little things that you're turning in along the way. Whereas like these 5 weeks, we were solely focused on this one big outcome. And then like in the end, I was able to produce something I was really proud of, and it like felt good to sort of have that work to show for it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did you put your family in tears?
I think so. My mom was crying a little in the living room. Yeah.
I definitely got teary. I have I have a senior myself right now, so
thank you.
Thank you for that. Ani, how about you? How was that for you?
It was really fun because usually I don't like film anything I do for dance, like a practice or like a showcase or something, but this time I did, and it was like fun to see it like come together from the like practice with the group and then the actual event in front of people.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's beautiful to see the dance and the filming, and it was, so thank you for sharing that.
Do I?
Please go. Yes, Jonathan. Thank you.
I think that's something that was so, like, when I went into this documentary internship, I was thinking that like, okay, so I have an idea of what I want my documentary to be about, but I was thinking, oh, well, they want to see something like this. And so I thought that Barb was going to kind of, I don't want to say like hinder us, but kind of put us into this box. But that's the amazing thing about Barb, is that she allows this freedom of expression. And that's why I think that this virtual film festival was so good, because you get some about like the history of boats, you get some about academic burnout, you get some about nature and art and a bridge. and all these different things. And then you put them together and you have this like collection of different pieces. And it's nice to see everyone's different perspectives coming together. And it was really fun, the whole process of seeing small little clip shots come together into this like full minutes long documentary.
It is. And again, 6 weeks. I keep reminding folks, and it was really only 5 weeks because we consumed the first week of your time doing onboarding and other hiring tasks. So, and then I wanted to ask Desiree, could you share also from your experience?
Yeah, honestly, in the end, all the documentaries were so insightful and like so interesting, because everybody is so individualistic that they don't notice like how many other perspectives there are in life. And I like seeing like the karate thing. I like seeing Jonathan's or the bridge one or everybody else's. I thought they were super good. And one thing that this has really taught me is like to work with other people. Like I have such a tight schedule, like so independent, that like it's hard to like communicate and like be like, oh yeah, I have to do this and do this. So it's definitely taught me more about the workforce and working for someone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Carla, how about you?
We have two Carla. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sorry, go for it.
It was me, right? Like
yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I did have like a little bit of a problem at first with like the whole internship because I had to get like transferred to one another. But I'm really thankful that it happened because I feel like I got to work very independently, and I just got to. I mean, Barb was such a good leader because she gave us her space to work in and like everything, and yet we still had like great feedback from her whenever we needed to. She gave us a lot of time. So yeah, it was just amazing. I don't know what else to say. It was just amazing. I'm really thankful for this.
Was it what you expected? Like, what did you think it was going to be like? And then what was it like for you working from home?
I will say it was more fun than I expected it to be. Because I was like, this is going to be like a lot of stuff and we're going to have like a lot of pressure and everything. But then it was more fun than anything. So
good to hear. It should be fun. That was one of the things we wanted to get across during this internship is you can get paid and have fun. Imagine.
And make something that you're proud of. So Carla Resendiz, do you want to, June was asking if you'd say something next.
So basically, I learned a lot from this interview, especially time management with editing. That was a big part of everything. Just having enough time to edit and having enough time to go get clips to edit and knowing what clips to use, if they're interesting or not. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. And like the other Carla said, I didn't think that this was going to be as interesting as it turned out to be. And it was stressful, but I'm glad to see that all my hard work, like in the end, it turned out into something really great that can eventually help out my uncle promote his business.
Yes. Did he have any reactions for you when you shared it?
Yeah, he really liked it a lot, and he liked the fact that I put in his weirdest tattoo in there. The weirdest spot he was he was the tattoo, and thought it was amazing.
Yeah, and then the signs were making me laugh. Yeah, that was awesome. Juan, I put you on the spot. Would you be willing to share?
Sure. Do you mind repeating the question real quick?
I'm just curious about what you thought of the internship, working from home, or just how you feel about your project now that it's been shown, live now.
It was a great experience to say the least. I had a lot of ideas, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that Barb really helped a lot with. And then even though like I had some hiccups, some audio went bad. And it took a while to get out of the film because to get this narrowed down with everything I ended up shooting, I ended up having over 4 hours of film that I went through for all the plane shots and for the matches. And so to narrow it down for all the clips that I had, I wanted to not overwhelm the video with clips, but not underdo it since I had so much filmed already. And so I kind of found a balance between the interview. Oh, that's, yeah, 4 hours of tennis plus the interview, which was around 40 minutes. So to narrow it down into the time I did, I was really, the editing process is very important to me now. I realize that. And Barb always helped me with the editing, and any questions I had, she tried to help me. And I really can't do Barb enough justice with this. And the whole internship was really fun.
You guys are too nice. You're too nice.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yes. Paras, is there something you'd like to share about your experience in this internship?
Yeah, I kind of had an idea what it was going to be like because I had the opportunity to do the internship last year, but with a different deep dive. So being able to just get more of that work experience with a company I already know is just like there for us. I know that like their goals and their missions reflect their actions. And just being able to have a new creative outlet in documentary film, I never thought that that was something I would be able to do. And just, you know, having that environment where we're working with each other, but we're also having time to put our own twist on our documentaries, and just having Barb, who's just amazing, the best deep dive lead, just so encouraging and really helps us like grow into our own, you know, space. And it was just a great opportunity. So
I know, Paras, you are among the few who worked with us last summer, and so it's nice that you have a perspective on what it was. So thank you for that. Sophia, thank you.
Hi, yeah, I think doing this internship was actually really cool. I kind of went into it like kind of like, should I do it or should I not do it? But then I was talking to my mom, and then she was like, just do it, see what it's about and see what you could create. And I didn't know, I was actually having a hard time picking what to film about. And I was even talking to Barb because I had another idea. And then she just started asking me like questions. And then like, I was like, oh, wait, I have a family business. Maybe I could see if my grandma or like my dad would want to talk about it. And then I'd ask and they said, yeah. And then hearing that we had like old footage, I really thought it'd be cool to like put something together and like that I could show my family and see what I could create with it. And actually it came out really good. I was really happy on how it turned out. And yeah, I think it was a cool experience and I for sure do it again.
What did your family think after they saw it?
They were actually texting me because so first I had sent it in like only like my mom and my sisters. I didn't want the whole family to see. And then my sisters sent it like everybody else. And I was like, oh my God. And they were all saying it was good and that they were crying, but they were just being a little emotional about it. It was cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's nice to have footage. I mean, was that 1990 that I saw?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It's amazing that they found it and gave it to you. I mean, what was it? Like a little tapes? Like what even technology is it?
It was like I don't know, I forgot what it's called. It was like the big like it's not a CD, but it's like a camera recorder where you put it in. And my grandma still had something to put it in to watch. So we just put it in the TV and we were going through a bunch of like I think it's called VHRs, something like that.
Oh, the VHS tapes?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure. But we were looking through a bunch of this to see which one he was in and which one was like the opening day or like when he was talking about his cars or like the first one, the video that I used in this film, that was the first day he was using one of his two of his trucks for the first time. And we didn't even know that we had those videos. My grandma didn't even know. So when we were watching them, she was like, oh my God. And she's like, I remember this. And like, it was cool. It was like, we were bonding over it and then we were talking about it. And it was something I was enjoying with my grandma. It was fun.
That's amazing. That's some of the gifts of documentary filmmaking is who your subjects are and what you learn when you're in the process. So thanks for sharing, Sophia.
Thank you.
And John did hop back in. So it's
Oh.
Maggie and John, I think, are the next ones.
You.
Maggie?
Yes.
So what I learned about this internship was like, video recording, and I think it was really interesting. I like the fact that the internship was online because I do work, and one thing I did learn about this was like time management because I work a lot of hours actually. Like where I work at, it's like kind of short staffed right now, so they call me in randomly. So yeah, the fact that I could edit, which editing takes a while, and work at the same time, it's like I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Yeah.
That's amazing that you're working. So 2 jobs in addition to this is a labor of love. This is so much work to do this and to do it the other times of day. So thank you, Maggie, for sharing. Thank you for sticking with it and managing your time and doing all of those pieces. So it was really awesome to see your film.
Thank you.
John, are you in a space you could share? Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for joining back in, my computer died. But at first I got recommended it by like a couple of my teachers because like some of them know I do YouTube and everything. So like they thought it would be a good experience for me. And like to be honest, I didn't really want to do it at first, but then like something in the back of my head kept telling me like just do it. It'll be a good experience. So I just did it. And overall, it wasn't what I expected as it was in my head. It was actually like way better, and I actually do enjoy the experience, getting like different perspectives from different people and advice, and I think that will help me down the road with YouTube and everything. So I want to thank Bar for it and everything. So thank you.
Thank you for listening to that little voice inside, because you could have not listened, and so part of it is all of you were open to taking on this. How do you make a documentary film by yourself in 5 weeks virtually? And you all did it. So I just wanted to congratulate all of you again. I'm going to just check YouTube really quick to see if we have any questions from anyone. We have lots and lots of love. So if you haven't, please do check it out. There's a lot of just people cheering you on in the comments. I wanted to thank everyone watching on YouTube. And I'm going to just make a plug that we have one more showcase today. It's at 4:00, CRISPR, which is gene editing. And then we have, tomorrow is our last day of showcases. So tomorrow is 4 additional showcases. 9 a.m. is blockchain, so please come back. And then 11 is social media and event management. Then 2 p.m. is environmental justice design. And then 4 p.m. is business and entrepreneurship. So those of you watching on YouTube, please do subscribe to YouTube/Bea Group. And then to all of the interns in documentary filmmaking, I just want to do a high five. Congratulations. You did it. Woohoo. And I'm going to turn off the live stream. Thanks everyone for watching.